Thank you so much, Your Majesty, for meeting with me today. I've really enjoyed your updates over the years, and a little birdie told me that you follow me on Instagram too. What's your favorite thing that I've reported on lately?
In May, the 12-month change in the CPI came in at 4.0%, and the change in the core CPI was 5.3%.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. So inflation is slowing down. Doesn't that mean this is all behind us?
The U.S. economy slowed significantly last year, and recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a modest pace.
Slowing but still growing. Do you have any idea how tough these times are for Americans? Just a couple of years ago, my P. Terry's combo was $6.95, and now it's $8.95. That is a 28% increase.
My colleagues and I understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal.
Well, that's good to hear. Who's responsible for making sure this doesn't keep happening?
Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve, and without it, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
Wait a minute. So the cost of my P. Terry's burger going up could mean that people will lose their jobs? Do my buyers need to be worried?
The labor force participation rate has moved up in recent months, particularly for individuals aged 25 to 54.
Whew, so we don't have to worry about losing our jobs right now. What have you done so far to get this under control?
We were at 75 basis points for several meetings, then we were at 50 basis points, then 50 basis points, 25 basis points at 3 consecutive meetings, and now we're moderating that pace.
Respectfully, sir, this sounds like gibberish. Would you prefer to conduct this interview in Pig Latin? Were you made aware that I'm bilingual?
Yes, and we've all been briefed by staff.
Okay, so if prices everywhere are going up, why have house prices gone down?
Although growth in consumer spending has picked up this year, activity in the housing sector remains weak, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates.
So inflation is causing mortgage rates to rise, and you're trying to raise your rates to stop inflation. That makes sense. So can you tell us precisely when this is going to end?
I don't know.
At the Fed meeting last week, you decided to pause.
You're right, of course. We did decide to maintain the federal funds rate at its current rate at this meeting.
Well, the next meeting is at the end of July. How will you decide what you're going to do?
In determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, we will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity, inflation, and inflation economic and financial developments.
That's a lot of big words, but I think what you mean is you're going to watch inflationary data every day to determine what you're going to do. That's exactly what we do for our clients, but in real time. So that's why mortgage rates usually move ahead of Fed rates.
You're right, of course.
Okay, let's just cut to the chase. Are you going to raise rates again this year?
Nearly all FOMC participants expect that it will be appropriate to raise interest rates somewhat further by the end of the year.
Can you say with 100% certainty that that will happen?
We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation, as well as the balance of risks.
In the words of Jerry Garcia, what a long, strange trip it's been. Does deadhead philosophy guide you in monetary policy?
I've been a Grateful Dead fan for 50 years, so.
Well, that's a lot to consider. Thank you so much for your time, Your Highness.